JFK was in California. He actually was tan, so he didn't actually need makeup, did he? Tell me more about Nixon.
And Nixon wasn't looking at the camera, he was looking at the moderator in the debate.
He was. He wasn't looking at the camera, he was looking at the moderator.
Although JFK was looking at the camera.
And what did that feel like? Seem like?
Like he was talking with the people.
It actually seemed like he was talking exactly to the people. Anything else? Your group still got it.
Well, he was wearing black and the background was black too.
He was wearing a black suit that really blended in with the background, which made him look paler. You said a couple of other things.
So like on the radio, because people not know.
Wait. Give me the other things that you said at the beginning.
5 o'clock shadow.
Had a 5 o'clock shadow and
sweaty.
And he was sweaty.
That's
1,
so
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything else? Go ahead.
Also, Kennedy just looked younger, and he looked more presentable. But also, this was the first debate to be televised.
Yes.
And so people who listened to it on the radio thought that Nixon won, but people who watched it on TV thought that Kennedy won.
Why did that bother Nixon so much?
Because, I mean, it wasn't...
Because he was ahead and he thought that he would win the election.
Yeah, but if you're listening to it on the radio and you think he won, why would you think he won?
Because he made a better argument.
Because what?
Of the content.
Because of his content, because of his answers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The general rule is presidential debates do not. Presidential debates do not win you elections, but in 1960 they lost them the election. Go ahead, click it if you would, Blake. Touch the house. Pick me a category. Y'all are getting close. Waka Wakas. Articles for 4. Articles for 2. List all you can. Click it. Examples of political correctness. Y'all have it first. You've got it second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shame on you. Go.
In Delaware, there was this thing where they were talking about how to approach people about certain issues like race and other topics, and it was by the government.
What was it called?
How to be nice or something.
How to be nice. No. Where was it? Where was it in Delaware? What government agency? 4, 3.
Human Health and Services.
-2. Political correctness. Y'all have it. Oh, this is such a big question. Examples of political correctness from chapter 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you want to give a couple?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you cannot say to a Latino person, can you help me with the landscaping?
Landscaping, Delaware Department of Transportation. You can't go up to a black coworker and say,
do you want to eat fried chicken with me?
fried chicken or watermelon, order this for lunch. If you remember the Joe Biden quote, Tiger Woods, Seinfeld with the Native Americans, the Christian roommate, all of those things, they're posted in there as articles. Be able to explain them where they came from. Go ahead, touch the house, Blake, and you gave me the last wrong answer. You picked the last category. Pick me. Was it you that picked the last category? Pick me another category.
Civil rights 1 point.
Civil rights. Okay. Plessy versus Ferguson. First hand I see. What doctrine was it? 5. Oh, shame on you. 4. Yes.
Separate but not equal.
Separate but not equal. Click it. Separate but equal -1. Touch the house. Pick me a category.
That's why.
It's okay. It's okay.
Articles for 4.
That's what matters.
Pictionary. Who's drawing? Wait, we already had that one. Go ahead. I don't think it went changed color the last time. It did this time. Pick me a category.
Articles 5.
Articles for 5. Click it. Surgeon General. You have it first, you have it second, because it's a list all you can. You guys have it. Gotta go. What was her name?
Yeah, so
5. What was her name? 4. What was her name? 3. What's that?
The woman who was overweight.
Yeah, what was her name? 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Sophia. 5,
Okay, there
4.
She was an overweight.
What was her name? 3,
Nominated
2, 1. Go ahead, Thomas.
Regina Benjamin.
Regina Benjamin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Waka Baka group has life. Tell me about Regina Benjamin.
She was
Anybody in the group?
she was kind of overweight.
Kind of overweight. 4. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Surgeon General's typically supposed to represent the health overall for the nation.
Yeah, you would think that the Surgeon General 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would actually represent health as the mouthpiece, the spokesperson for the government. Go ahead.
Right, and then people said that she isn't qualified because she is obese herself.
She is visibly obese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything else?
But this could have been a way for her to they also said that she could have been a representative because if she lost weight, then she could also show that the people
1,
who
2,
lose
3,
weight-
4, 5. Yeah, there were folks out there that actually suggested that she would be an excellent Surgeon General if she walked the walk, so to speak, if she was obese, lost the weight, and she demonstrated it for the American people. Can you tell me about her qualifications? Can you tell me anything at all? 4. You guys have it. You're part of this. Go ahead.
Yeah, and people also argued that she should stay there because she was qualified for it. She studied for it. She had qualification.
Can you give me some of these qualifications? 4, 3, 2.
She go to people's houses and.
She went to people's houses?
Never mind. You know what?
Take a look at this article. If you remember, she did make house calls and didn't accept money. She was a decorated doctor. She was eminently qualified. But we talked about this. Would you want to go to an overweight personal trainer? Would you listen to a doctor if the doctor said don't smoke and then you saw them smoking afterwards? We talked about how there was a degree of hypocrisy. The Republicans really ripped her for this. Go ahead, pick me a category. Gotta go.
Judiciary. Thank you.
How much?
4 points.
4-point judiciary. Ripeness, firsthand. You got it. 5.
Professor.
Can I talk? Okay.
4.
They were talking about how the case isn't ready or whatever. That's what
The
court-
case isn't ready. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever mine is.
Yeah.
The contraception.
3.
Contraception.
Explain it.
Because like she went to ask for the contraception,
Connecticut.
but she wasn't like pregnant yet, so they couldn't prove that.
Well,
she
why is
No
being pregnant
injury. She had
important?
no injury yet. She
Wait, it's,
Gotta prove injury.
yeah, they need to prove injury. It needed to be right.
Well, what's the signal? Well, tell me what's the story? What'd she do? What was the issue?
It
4.
was in Connecticut and they had a ban on like birth control pill.
Connecticut had a ban on contraception. 1, 2, 3. Was it 3 or 4? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me more. What was her medical condition? 4.
If she had a kid, it would like endanger her health.
If she got pregnant, she could conceivably die. What did she want Connecticut to do?
Allow her to get a prescription for like birth control pills.
Is that what she wanted?
Contraception?
Minus 4.
What?
Okay.
Birth control pills from her prescription.
Go ahead.
She wanted the court to strike down this law.
She wanted the court to strike down 1, 2, 3, 4. Strike down this antiquated law. What happened when she went to court?
The court wouldn't do that because she wasn't pregnant at the time, and they said that it's not ripe enough.
It wasn't ripe enough. Tell me a little bit more. What does that mean?
It means that you haven't experienced any injury or any.
Haven't suffered an injury. 1, 2, 3, 4. She basically said, if I get pregnant, I may die because of a medical condition. She wanted them to strike down the law. She went to court and they said, well, you haven't suffered an injury yet. You're not pregnant. You haven't actually suffered here. What'd she do next?
Well, she called a police officer to come. And
Is that what she did next?
No. She.
What'd she do next? Anybody? 4. That's a hand. 3. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, and then the doctor also.
What about the doctor?
He went before the court and said that he was going to lose his patients because of this, but they also said he hasn't had any injuries.
The doctor went before the court to challenge the law, talking about medical practice, talking about taking an oath, talking about the service for patients, and they said, in fact, you haven't suffered an injury yet. How did they ultimately demonstrate the injury? Go ahead.
So she went to the doctor and had a police officer there, and then the doctor gave her birth control pills, and she accepted it in front of the doctor, and the police officer arrested them, and then now they had injuries.
That was the injury. 1, 2, 3, 4, because in fact they got arrested and the court immediately struck down the law. Go ahead, click it. A case is dismissed by the Supreme Court because an injury has not yet been suffered. Touch the house. Pick me a category.
Judiciary 3 points.
Judiciary for 3. Mootness. It is. Go. Waka waka. Group.
It's a resolved case before it goes to court.
What's that?
It's a case that's resolved before it goes to
A
court.
case that's resolved before it goes to court. 1, 2, 3. Can you give me an example? 4. Go ahead.
Yes.
Roe versus Wade.
How?
So Roe sued because
3.
she
2.
to have an abortion,
Yeah.
and
Zoom in. Yeah, get closer. This is really.
so by the time it got to the Supreme Court, she already had the child.
Yes.
So by having the child, it got resolved because it was
By having the child, 1, 2, 3, she didn't need the abortion anymore.
Right.
The case resolved itself. Can you give me another example? 4, 3, 2, One. Go ahead, Christian.
So for when you apply, those two people who are applying, they're friends. One is qualified with like better
Applied
grades.
to what?
better
Applied to what?
To university.
Applied to transfer. Go ahead.
So one has better GPA and better grades, better transcript, and the other one doesn't. The one that has a lower transcript and better and like worse grades, he get accepted, but the other one doesn't.
And usually there's maybe some race or some kind of classification that's involved.
Yeah.
What happens then?
So
what
then
usually happens?
The person sues the school, and days before they go to court, he gets admitted.
And what does that mean?
It's like it's solved because there's no point of it.
If you didn't get in and you wanted to get in, so you sued for acceptance, and then they admit you at the very last minute, the case is now moot. It has resolved itself. Go ahead, click it. A case dismissed by Supreme Court because it's been resolved itself before being heard. Touch the house. Pick me a category.
Wait,
Blake's doing his own thing. Okay.
Can we do executive for 4?
Executive for 4. Pictionary. Who wants to draw? Somebody that hasn't drawn yet.
Nah.
Wait, is this executive?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all messed up. Okay, I'll give you this one, PJ. Blake, could you? Oh, it's erased? Okay. That's what I need you to draw. Got it?
game.
Easy.
Got it?
Not yet.
Okay, on the 2. Go ahead. Got it? Okay.
A line.
Oh, my.
Ass. But spanking.
Wow! It is spanking! Was that executive for 4?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. That was actually supposed to be Congress. I think I mixed up one. What is the spanking law? First hand I see has it second, but y'all have it now. You've got it next.
It was a law in California.
California, go!
It was at like a certain age you couldn't spank your kid.
What was the age? 4, 3.
Less than 4.
Less than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you were 0, 1, 2, or 3 years old, California would forbid your parents from spanking you. Go ahead.
And the reason was because if the child was less than 4, they wouldn't know what they were being punished for.
So in fact, this could be a negative thing, spanking them, and they didn't know why. What was the penalty? 4, 3.
It was a misdemeanor.
It was a misdemeanor, and
The law never passed.
the law did not ever pass. I'll give you points for that, but what was the penalty? 3, 2, 1, go. You guys have it. Tell me something.
Well, the woman who wanted to pass this law didn't have any children.
The woman that wanted to pass the law, 1, 2, 3, 4, did not have children herself. Shh. Go ahead, anything else?
So she couldn't feel the feeling of being a parent and punishing their children or...
Some people would argue she really didn't know what you should do with kids because she didn't have kids. Go ahead, Cromwell.
Congress also thinks that they know how to deal with this. Well, the state of California thought that they knew how to deal with kids better than the parents do.
There is a controversy there that says 1, 2, 3, 4. This is basically the legislature saying we can raise your kids better than you can, and people didn't like it. Now, they already told me that it didn't pass. Can y'all tell me what the penalty potentially was? A misdemeanor punishable by up to 4? Yeah, how much?
2 years.
-4. Waka Baka's group.
1 year.
1 year, up to 1 year. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything else? I'll go with that. Go ahead, pick me a category.
Civil rights 5.
Civil rights for 5. I need one last Pictionary, and then we'll call it. Who's drawing? Oh, this is a big one, y'all. Okay, could you erase that real quick? I'll give you the marker. And that's what I need you to draw. Got it? 1 minute, starting on the 9.
Art, bruh. I know. I felt weird at the guys.
What the hell?
That's actually not bad.
A shower?
You can't write.
Maybe.
Got you.
It's your group, nigga. Talk.
It's a fish. It's a fish.
Oh. What?
Yo, why you
What?
baby?
What?
It looks like a fish. Does it look like a fish?
You can't call it.
Okay, I won't
There's
call
like
it.
2 different things. There's a fish and a person.
Showerfish?
Showerfish!
What?
The fish.
Miss Wakabaka's been drinking. Showerfish. 15 seconds.
No. Hold on.
Baby.
Bubbles.
Oh.
5 seconds.
Shampoo. Conditioner.
Shower. How many
Oh!
bubbles are in a soap bar?
Soap bubbles. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. This is what I need from the Waka Waka group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need examples of the voting rights tests.
Okay, so
I challenge that.
they, in order to vote, people needed to take
Go ahead.
taking tests of in order to vote. So
Yeah.
they would say, oh, how many can you count the amount of bubbles that are in this?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many bubbles are in a bar of soap? And what's the problem with this?
That it's nobody knows. How
You
many
can't
bubbles.
really know. So how did they determine who voted? Anybody in the group? Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much like if you're white and you seemed wealthy, they tell you got the answer right. Whereas if you're a minority or poor Caucasian male or female, they automatically told you your answer was wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Give me another test.
And the jelly beans.
What was the jelly bean test?
Pretty much it was the same thing. You had to count how many jelly beans were inside the
Could you
jar.
touch them?
No, you
You
couldn't.
had to look at the jar and?
You had to analyze them and then give an estimated guess about how many were in the jar. And then they do the same thing for the subway test.
Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in fact, a lot of these people couldn't even count high enough if they were given the chance. But basically, the people in charge of the polls, if they wanted you to vote, they would allow you to. Whatever you said would be right. And even if somebody came up behind you and gave you the exact same answer, if they didn't want you to vote, they weren't going to let you. 3 more tests. Go ahead.
There was an intellectual test.
What was that intellectual test called? 4, 3.
Literacy test?
What's that?
Literacy
It was the literacy test. What was the literacy test?
That was.
They had a.
They had what?
Then you have to
Never mind.
answer questions like government-related questions.
What kinds of questions?
How many jurisdictions
like
or
the-
how many?
Really hard question.
How many stars are in the. We gotta help them.
How many stars are in the American flag?
No.
No, it's like
How many districts are in your or who's the governor of your?
How many something?
What? No.
-5. Go ahead.
So basically, they had to know how to read and write.
They had to know how to read with these. Go ahead.
And so the other thing was the grandfather case.
What was the grandfather
Your
clause?
grandfather they had the grandfather
Hold on, they didn't say anything.
I know he didn't say anything.
had to be able to vote in his time, and the problem was that in that time he maybe was a slave or something.
Maybe was a slave, or maybe in fact was a poor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a poor white. What was the last one? Grandfather clause, jelly bean, soap bubble, literacy test.
There was a woman who did the literacy test, but she knew all the answers.
And they kept adding them.
And yeah, and they kept going
That was just
further.
adding up.
That was an example from the movie Selma. I think we had talked about, but what was the 5th test? Take a look at the video with the intern in it and make sure that you're comfortable with the 15th Amendment, how they wrote it, because it was designed to protect people's rights to vote. But remember when we went over it, it didn't. That's why these voting rights tests kicked in. Take a good look at the video. Let's see what we got. 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 143, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, just 98. All right, let me double check this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, it is 140. If you will, if you're in Max and Tim's group, if y'all will sign your names and write +13.